monster.
Hey guys, Nulltrooper here, aka Clone Guy, and tonight I have for you guys 2 replays featuring the mouse on our quest for 3 marks of excellence. And yes, I'm going to be shooting nothing but premium rounds, so I would quickly like to talk to you about premium rounds before we get into the fight, because I have a brilliant idea I'd like to express about premium rounds, which I think would be fair. You guys can argue against it. It does not change the alpha of the shell, it does not change the penetration of the shell, it just changes the mechanics of the shell. So, if you're shooting heat, it cannot go through spaced armor whatsoever. No spaced armor at all. So you hit, if you're in a Jagdpanzer E100 and you're shooting at the broad side of a mouse, but you hit it in the side skirts with your heat, guess what? You bounce off. You're in the Jagdpanzer E100 with 420mm of penetration. You're shooting at a Super Pershing, which does go through every single time. But with this mechanic, it hits that first layer of spaced armor and dissipates. It's gone. Does not damage the Jagdpanzer E100. Make it so that heat shells have to still be aimed properly, but they just give you more penetration, so you can go through weak spots, you can go through thickly armored flat spots, even thickly armored angled spots, just as long as you're not hitting spaced armor. It cannot go through tracks, it cannot go through the sides of tanks. That way heat is literally only for the front of tanks. So you have to use standard rounds on the side of tanks, you have to use premium rounds on the front of tanks, your heat rounds on the front of tank. I think that's fair. I like that. I really do. And then also make it so that the auto ricochet is not 85 degrees on heat. That's ridiculous. Make it so it's 70 like all the other shells. I think 70 degrees is fair. And there, boom, heat is fixed. Yes, it still has insane amounts of penetration, but you can't just shoot it willy-nilly. Because if a tank decides to give you his side, you're probably not going to go through. So it's like, oh, this guy's shooting heat. Let me just show him my side armor. And boom, you're safe from him. And then he has to go back to his AP. I think that's fair. Now, let's talk about APCR now, which is what I'm shooting. I think APCR, the shells are smaller, so I think they should lose maybe a little bit of alpha. Maybe. Just like, maybe 10%. Maybe 5% even. Just 5%. Just a little bit of alpha off the side, just because the shells are a little bit smaller. And yeah, I think that would be fair. But like I said, I don't want to change alpha, and I don't want to change the penetration. So let's not talk about that. Let me talk about my other idea. My other idea is make it so that they drop even more penetration over distance. And make it so that they have 0 degrees of normalization, unlike the AP, which is 5. APCR right now has 2 degrees, and it auto ricochets at 70. Make it so it auto ricochets at 60, and loses more penetration over distance, even more penetration over distance. And then I think that's fair. So now your tank is even weaker against angled armor, even weaker. And so now you're like, okay, I have this AP which will overmatch at this angle. Like when you see somebody side scraping, you won't be able to use APCR anymore. And once again, it's going to be, okay, APCR for the front, AP for the side. And I like that. I personally think that's fair. I really do. And yeah, so there's my quick idea. Now, we have taken this position. We kind of did bully a Patton out of the way for it. We didn't push the Patton. We did push the VKB, and the VKB was not happy about that. He did shoot me in the back. But our Patton was very kind, and he gave me the spot and moved on. And I do apologize to them if they were really intent on using this position, but I felt the mouse was needed to be here, and not a stock Patton, a stock VKB. You guys can argue all you want about that move, but it is what it is. Now, I am in a mouse, and when I'm in a mouse, I do crazy things. I love my mouse. I love just testing the armor, seeing how well it works. So we're going in here. Now this VKB has been shooting us in the back, or in our tank for a while. There he goes. He pens us again with his APCR. That's the second time he's penned me. I think he's the only one who's actually done damage to me. And now as soon as I push up, he's actually going to drive up and get into a position to shoot me. He's literally obsessed with shooting me. And because he does that, he's going to get himself killed, but he is going to do more damage to me. And it is a little bit annoying. Look at him drive towards me. He's like, ooh, mouse, gotta go kill him. And so yeah, that's what's going on right now. But we are aiming up a shot on this Waffle, who's I thought was reloading, but it turns out he's not reloading. There's one. There's two. He tracks us. And that's it. He only 2 shots left. And the VKB is shooting us in the back of the tank, along with this light tank. We put another shell into the M103. It looks like the light tank put 2 shots into us. So I think he's got 1 more left, unless he only had 2 already in the magazine. Unfortunately, this M103 puts a shell into our engine deck with HE for about 140 damage, and unfortunately takes out our engine. We already used 2 repair kits. We put a shell into the patent, and because we're not able to turn fast enough, he is able to put a shell into our lower plate and bring us down to very low health. But now we've got a light tank coming up behind us. Let's see if I notice him. I know he's coming. Here he is. Are we going to be able to bounce him? Yes, we are. We bounced him off of us. And yes, it looks like he did fire 2 at us earlier. He didn't finish me off with, or put a 3rd one in until now. Don't know why he decided not to put a 3rd shell into us. And we put 1 into him. And now this waffle's loaded. There's 1. There's 2. Oh boy, we're tracked. There's 3. There's 4. And there's 5. Actually, it looks like I miscounted. There was a 6th one in there as well. I thought it was the heavy tank, but then he just shot me. So yes, there was 6. There's the 6th shell. He bounces 5 out of 6. And we are able to survive. But are we going to be able to finish off this pattern, or will he kill us? Come on, he just fired. We're going to put the shell in, pull back immediately. Put the shell in. Are we going to be able to get away? Yes, we are. And are we going to be able to finish him off? We're going to drive forward and hopefully kill him and get ourselves our 3rd kill. Come on. No, we're not. He gets finished off, and we got targeted for a split second, so it looks like he was going to aim up at us. Now I'm driving out right here. I thought to myself, I'll probably get killed by Artie if I do this. But at the same time, you know, you can't take your tank with you. Like, your tank is fixed when you get back to the garage, right? So why care about getting killed? And lucky for us, the artillery does not want to shoot us. And I didn't realize I had such a great game until Jay, who was my clan mate, or my platoon mate, had mentioned it. He says, wow, that was a great game. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess it was. So I stick my gun up in the air as a little salute. And I was at 93.8% here. And now with this game, we are at 94.6. But you can't see it in the post game because it doesn't tell you anymore. It just tells you, it rounds down to the nearest percentage, full percentage. So unfortunately, you don't get to see exactly what I'm at. But this was my 2nd ace tanker in my mouse. My first one was pretty lame, but this one was a much better ace tanker. 12,000 damage blocked, 6,000 damage done, a bit of assist, steel wall, Spartan, and cool-headed. There we go. And we're at 93.94 now, 0.6%. Now we find ourselves on Severgorsk. Encounter battle. Once again with Jay, but this time instead of his T-57 Heavy, he's in an E-100. And we're going to go take it to the enemy. Once again, we're shooting our APCR shells because I will let you know now. You guys can be completely mad at me, but I was in my mouse. I had it at 94.7% earlier, and then I had a string of bad games. I was bouncing shots, I was missing shots, and I was shooting AP, and I was just like, nope, I'm shooting gold. I am just straight up spending my money, my credits that I've earned, and I'm going to shoot my premium rounds until I get to my 3rd mark of excellence, because I get to 94.7. I've gotten to 94.95 sometimes on some of my tanks. I did that in my 215B, and I did that in my Action X, and then I just drop, and then I can't get it back up. And so, my mouse, I decided I'm just going to load gold. Here it comes, APCR time, and that's what we're doing here. Now, like I said, you know, if the mechanics are slightly different or the alphas were different with your premium shells, maybe I wouldn't shoot. Maybe I wouldn't do this, because then, once again, you'd have to use your brain, you know? And I like that. I like, the more you have to use your brain in a game, the more I like it. I love having to think critically. I love that about games. It's my favorite thing. Like, oh, yes, I have to think critically about this game. What can I do to win this? How can I outsmart the enemy? Oh, you know, what mechanics do I have to use? And I like that. And unfortunately, APCR shells really take that away, and so do artillery. And artillery and premium rounds actually have the same purpose. They really do. Because if you come across a hull down E100, or a hull down mouse, or a mouse who's just holding your team back, an E3, something like that, an IS-7 hull down, whose job is it to dig them out? It's their artillery's job. Well, what else can do just as good a job? Your premium shells. Your premium shells can do just as good a job as artillery. And so, yeah, it makes it so that artillery is literally just premium shells. Or premium shells are literally just artillery. And so we have both in the game. And I think you only need one. I really do. I think you could probably get rid of artillery. And then premium rounds would be probably more accepted. Or get rid of premium shells, and then artillery would be more accepted. Because that's why artillery was introduced way back in the day when the game first came out, was because premium shells could only be purchased with real money back on PC. So artillery was a very great thing to have. And then you had +4, -4 matchmaking, so you could, and in your tier 6, get into a tier 10 game. So if you're in your VK 3601 heavy, and you've got an E100 you've got to fight, or an IS-4 you've got to fight, or a T-34 you've got to fight, what do? Well, you hope artillery hits, and that's the job of artillery. I can't kill that. Artillery can. That was the point. You'd use your low tiers to keep them spotted, keep them distracted, let your artillery dig them out, and that sounds like fun to me. That makes artillery just this extra piece of just thought in the game, and I love thinking critically. It's my favorite thing about games. And I know I'm talking about things that aren't the case anymore, but that's why artillery was introduced into the game. That's why they had artillery. It was a good idea. It was needed. It really was. But nowadays, premium shells are no longer. You don't have to pay for them with real money anymore. Artillery is. There's a lot more artillery now, and yeah, any tank can really defeat any tank nowadays with, like I said, the dab of your A button or your 2 key or whatever it is you're playing on, whatever platform. So, you know, it is what it is. But that is okay. We are going to put a shell into this Action X, into the rear of his tank. And now, I'm definitely not, this is kind of a rant. It's not an angry rant, because I'm okay with premium rounds in the game. I really am. It's not like my rant against the sharpshooter contract. That was an angry rant. That was like, okay, Wargaming, fix this. But, you know, if Wargaming doesn't do anything to their premium rounds or doesn't do anything to artillery, I don't think I'm going to be upset, because I still like the game. I like the game for what it is now, right? I still play. I still have fun. Occasionally, I do get rather annoyed with artillery, because like 3 of them shoot me at once. Or there's a premium spammer on the enemy team who's like, I'm in like this great position with my E5, but it doesn't matter. You know, I'm getting shot at by premium rounds, and sometimes that happens. Sometimes it does, and that will make me a little bit upset, but just for that game. Then I get into the next game, and it's completely different. That's what makes this game great, is every game seems to be different. Well, not so much lately because of all the light tank spam, but the light tank spam has definitely been dying down because a lot more people are getting the sharpshooter, and I'm very excited about that. I haven't been getting a ton of light tanks in every single game, and I've been enjoying that. It's been a lot more enjoyable lately. But yay hype for dying down. I'm so happy. Now, we've just been doing damage consistently, a little bit at a time. Rolling up on the enemy. Here is an Action X shooting. That was actually an APCR shell. Great shot by him. He, with an APCR shell, aimed for my cheek, and it went in. He did not need a premium shell because he aimed. And, yeah, so even standard shells can defeat some tanks. Well, of course, he's in an Action X, so 268mm of penetration is fantastic for a medium tank. And, my turret is only 260, so if you hit flat and you don't roll low, he'll go right in. So, yeah, easy peasy, no problem for him. I have been shooting gold, and I have not needed it. Maybe against the IS-7 when he was driving at me, kind of angled it, definitely helped there. And other than that, I really didn't need it, even though I am shooting it. And so, as you can see, this is one of those games where I turned off my brain and started shooting gold. And that's what, you know, that's what can be annoying about premium rounds, is it can really... It increases, I feel like it increases your stats by 25%. I seriously do. If you find a super unicum who shoots solely premium rounds, and he's got like 25 or 3,000 W8, I guarantee you his W8 without his gold rounds would be like 2,400. It's like, you take those away, you take away his skill. I really do. I really do. And so yeah, that is the case. Like my session in my E1, my mouse on this day was about 6,000 W8, but I was shooting nothing but gold. Take away my gold, maybe I've got 4,000 W8. So that is my take on premium rounds. And like I said, I'm not against premium rounds. I think they have a place. But I've decided to, you know, talk about them just a little bit with you guys. Let me know what you guys think about them in the comments below. I know you did yesterday, but a little bit more today. Anyway, I stuck my gun in the air as a salute because I knew I had it. I had that third mark of excellence. Here it was. I could feel it. Let's see. Come on. Did we get it? We made some money. 5,000 damage. 1,300 assisted. And there it is, our third mark of excellence, along with a steel wall and a first class mastery badge. We did over almost 6,500 combined damage, and that actually brought us up to, I believe, 95.4. And there is our third mark of excellence. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys all enjoyed. If you did, slap that like button, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you go check out Space Bandit and GotADingy's YouTube's links in the description below. And I will catch you guys all later. Take care, and peace out. Oh, actually, before we do it, in case you guys want to know, this is number 56. Bye.